1973 saw the release of one of my favorite raunchy teen sex comedies, The Cheerleaders. It was a huge hit, made for just $150,000 or so, and grossed more than $2.5 million at the box office. Not bad. Perhaps the success was due to the fact that nobody had ever seen a cheerleader movie before. This was the first one. This was virgin territory, a fresh, untapped market. So you can't really blame Jack Hill for wanting to tap it again. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob. Today I'm taking a look at the Swinging Cheerleaders from 1974. This is the unofficial follow-up to 1973's The Cheerleaders, and this one comes to us from exploitation legend Jack Hill. And according to the commentary track, he wasted no time getting this thing into theaters. He started working on the script at the end of January. By the end of May, the film was done and playing. Wow, this gotta be the fastest production time ever. And doubly impressive since, as we'll see, the story here is not exactly simple. There's quite a few different plot threads intertwining here. Let's take a look. Plot thread number 1. The cheerleaders need a new cheerleader, and ultimately they decide on Kate. But Kate is an undercover journalist. It was the 1970s, and thanks to Woodward and Bernstein, everyone wanted to be an undercover journalist. But Kate didn't want to expose a president, she wanted to expose some cheerleaders. And that sounds pretty awesome. Okay, well actually what she wanted to do was expose how cheerleading was demeaning to women.
I am calling it the Swinging Cheerleaders, an examination of female exploitation in contemporary society.
Boo, Kate, boo, cheerleaders are awesome. Actually, Kate turns out to be pretty cool, and she ends up abandoning that cheerleader article idea in favor of a much better idea, which brings us into plot thread number 2. The football team is one of the best that the school has had in years, so the coach, a statistics professor, and a few people from the alumni group organize a scheme to throw games so that they can make money betting against and then for the team. Boo, scammers, you suck. And yeah, actually they do kind of suck. Oh, right, professor, that reminds me, this is a university, not a high school. So if you felt a little guilty watching the first movie because it was high school girls, no worries here. These are guilt-free additions to your spank bank. So what else is going on here? Well, one of the cheerleaders is dating the quarterback, but he's got eyes for Kate. That's the investigative journalist / new cheerleader. Kate's boyfriend is this campus radical. He gets jealous and does unspeakable, horrible things. The lovely Rainbow Smith, she's dating the football team's receiver, and she's not quite ready to give him her V card. That's going to lead to some drama. The third main cheerleader, she's dating that statistics professor that I mentioned before. There's a lot going on here, maybe even too much. But that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Well, this is a Jack Hill movie, and like many Jack Hill movies, you start watching them for a bit of cheesy fun, and then partway through you realize you actually care about these people because they're interesting. That's the magic of Jack Hill as a writer. He really was a massively talented guy. It's absolutely no surprise that Tarantino is a huge fan. I mean, just think about it. You start with a blank page, and 5 months later you have a completed movie in movie theaters? I mean, who can do that? Maybe Roger Corman. Beyond the writing and the story, the cast here is pretty good. Fan favorite Rainbow Smith is her expected, sweet, and adorable self. Joe Johnston is pretty great as Kate. Overall, just not much to complain about in the acting department. For the kind of movie that it is. In fact, there's even one just stand-out scene when Mae Mercer shows up.
Got something to tell you, bitch. I'm only gonna say it this once, so you better listen and listen good. Listen, I said I'll cut your face up like a tomato. And it won't be the first time, you understand? That's my man you playing with. If you want a man, go out and find you one.
Damn. Oh, and when the cops show up, be on the lookout for Bob Miner. We last saw him on this channel in Delinquent Schoolgirls. So yeah, we've got an engaging story carried by some good-looking and fairly competent actors, but the movie's not perfect. Like a skullduggerous campus radical with a woman in his dashiki, it has some shortcomings. Well, Jack Hill made genre pictures, he made exploitation pictures, but he really tried hard not to make overly sleazy pictures. And with Coffy and Switchblade Sisters and Spider Baby, I think he struck the right balance. But here, I think he played it a little too safe. This is a cheerleader movie. It needed some more sleaze. Sure, there is nudity in this movie, including Rainbow Smith, who was pregnant at the time. That's pretty cool. There's also some sexy outfits, some sexy encounters. But, really all of it is just pretty vanilla and tame. And this is, I think, Jack Hill being a little subversive here, and making a movie which is a bit more feminist than we might expect from a cheerleading movie. I mean, he did have the outfits specially made to be a bit sexier than what was normal at the time for cheerleader outfits. They've got these plunging necklines, and the skirts are quite a bit shorter than normal. But he didn't film it in a way that would show these features off. We don't get any down blouse cleavage shots, we don't get any leering booty shots. There's none of that here.
I never felt that just large breasts were necessarily sexy. I go for the eyes and the expression in the face and the way an actress moves, her intelligence.
If you say so, Jack Hill. And I know some people thought the original Cheerleaders movie went a bit too far into the sleaze, so if that's you, you might appreciate Jack Hill's, more restrained effort here. But for me, if I'm watching an R-rated cheerleader movie, I kind of want it to earn that R. Beyond the cleanliness issue of the movie, and I don't want to give anything away about the ending, I'll just say that the ending was a little bit too contrived for my tastes. I mean, it does end up being kind of funny, which, makes you forgive the contrivances, I suppose, but still, they kind of nagged at me a little bit. But yeah, I don't really want to say too much more about it. It's fun enough, don't expect it to be awesome. Still though, I did like the movie overall. The story's pretty interesting, the characters are pretty great, and it keeps you entertained all the way through. Not much to complain about. I think if your expectations are in the right place, you'll like it. This is not an ultra sleazy follow-up to an all-time sleaze classic, but it is a Jack Hill film.